You need another chair? We're okay. And we can.
Walking down here.
Okay. Oh, we have name tags for all the delegates? Oh, that's so much, thank you. Just so you guys know, so if you guys see alternate, I didn't speak.
No.
So do we just post? So there's no delegate. I'm saying. Okay.
And I also just verified there was on the agenda last night.
I think she did because, but Steve did clarify that. Because he knew
Again, I appreciate your.
How we doing?
We had to.
I don't know.
So what happens now is
Anne Marie, can you do me a favor and make sure that it's just delegates down here? If they have an alternate, I love having them here, but I'm gonna have them sit over there. You guys, the staff is fine here.
That's fine.
Yeah.
What did you want to confirm though?
Oh, good, they are on, thank
I
you.
mean, what if you want to confirm the alternate though? That's why we're here.
Well, that's why I want them in the audience, because I don't know if you've been to these meetings or if you paid attention, but it can turn into chaos. So I'm gonna make sure that we know that each post is getting the one vote, like here, Lockport only has the alternate, so that's perfect.
All set. So, I'm gonna repeat myself a few times. We are fully mic'd, so when you guys speak, if anyone has anything to say, I would like if you would hit speak on your mic here, talk, and then hit it again to stop. That way, if the meeting's being recorded, we can understand what everybody is saying. There's nobody talking over each other, and it makes just the flow of everything a lot better. I hope so. I hope so.
You don't feel like it's all planned.
Yeah, yeah. Did all alternates and delegates sign in on the outside on the table?
Thank you.
I wasn't seeing there.
Thank you, Eric.
Are you gonna sit here?
You are?
You.
Okay. Further.
What do you need? Oh. Just hit speak. Okay. Don't try and. What?
I would like to ask all the alternates and delegates to please sign in if you did not already do so. And I would also like to say that we're fully mic'd. So when speaking, if you could hit the speak button on your microphone, to talk, to vote, to pass motion, so I could hear you clearly and I could take the minutes down a lot easier. Okay, you want me to sit here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Please.
It's not a- it's good. meeting in September. October 11th,
Hi, everyone,
2022.
it's
Full
6:01
commission.
PM, and we're gonna call the meeting to order. Please stand for the pledge of allegiance.
And to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Jacqueline, invocation, please.
Heavenly Father, thank you for bringing us together this evening. Please guide us in our deliberations to help us make prudent and wise decisions for those whom we serve. Amen.
Amen.
Jack Bidlow is excused. Secretary Denise Williams present. Sergeant at Arms Amanda Cook.
Here.
Chaplain Jim Sigler. Member Tom Milnick, excused. Member Janet Blue. Here. Member Steve Beneke.
Here.
Past Chair Vic Martinka.
Present.
Past Chair John York. Excused. Past Chair Wayne Horn.
Here.
I will call the roll for members of the Veterans Assistance Commission delegates by post. If you are here to represent your post, please identify yourself by name, and if I need to, please please spell it. AL 2000 Mokina. AL 1977 New Lenox. AL 1291 Crete. AL 1200 Moni. Janet Blue again. Executive Board. AL 1080. AL 935 Manhattan.
Everything going here.
Thank you. AL 521 Stager. AL 392 Peatone.
Robert Kruger.
KRUEGER.
Correct.
Thank you. AL 241 Buffalo Soldiers. AL 191 Wilmington. AL 52 Romeoville.
Tom Jones, JOSD.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Jost. Yes, Executive Board, thank you, I was just about to say it. AL 39 Braidwood. AL 18 Lockport.
I'm sorry, that's me, I'm sorry, my team, not 52, I take it back, I'm sorry. 52 is, Romeoville, I live in Romeoville, that's why I got confused. Tom Jost, JOST, and Lockport, ET.
Okay, so I'm confused.
Okay, I'm not part of 52.
Okay, so Tom, you are here to represent AL 18 Lockport.
That's Tom Jost.
Okay, thank you.
JOST. I'm sorry.
No worries. AL 13 Plainfield.
Plainfield, Raj Fly here, alternate.
VFW 9545 New Lenox. VFW 8283 Stager. VFW 5917 Bolingbrook.
Present.
Okay, and,
Alternate's also present.
okay, I need a name, please.
Larry
John.
Shaver.
Who is the delegate, sir?
John Dagan.
And we also have a delegate present.
Larry Shaver, that's Shaver.
Thank you. VFW 5819 Lamont. VFW 5788 Lockport. VFW 5422 Wilmington.
Present, Jennifer Beal,
Please spell your last name.
PIEHL.
Thank you. VFW 2199 Stone City. VFW 1493 Frankfurt. Okay. VFW 725 Mokina. VFW 367 Cantigny.
Jim Clausen, alternate.
One S, correct, Jim?
Buenas.
Are there any delegates or alternates representing a post or organization that have not been called or recognized? Okay, sir, your name?
Joseph Kelly, Kate. Joseph Kelly, K-E-L-L-E-Y.
And what
Military
organization?
Officers Association of America.
And someone else said? Sir?
1080, Gary Steve. 1080, Gary Steve.
Oh,
I must have missed you.
okay, one moment. Yes, Gary. And it's S-T-I-E?
Yeah, STIEG.
Okay. Is there anyone else representing a post or an organization whose name has not been called or whose organization has not been called? Okay, we do have quorum. And we need to have a President Pro Tem. So is there a motion? And
I'll make a
nomination?
motion to, ask Amanda Coke to be president pro tem this evening, in lieu of the absence of all president.
Kennedy, second.
Okay, we need a roll call vote here, so. Let's see. Ms. Williams? Yes. Amanda Cook?
Yes.
Jim Singler? Janet Blue? Steve Beneke?
Yes.
Dick Martinka?
Yes.
Wayne Horn?
Yes.
Gary Steve? Aye or nay, yes or no, for Amanda Cook to be president pro tem to proceed with the meeting? No, Gary? Gary Steve, 1080.
Here.
Yes, okay, thank you. Robert Angone?
Yes.
Okay. Robert Kruger?
Yes.
Tom Jost?
Yes.
Raj Bly?
That would be a no.
John David? Or Davin,
Yes.
I don't want to mispronounce it.
You got it right, David.
It is David? Yes, okay. And gentlemen, there's two of you, but it's only the delegate that votes, okay? Jennifer Peel?
Yes.
Jim Clausen?
Yes.
Joseph Kelly?
Yes.
Okay, motion passes. I have 15 ayes and 1 nay. Madam President Pro Tem.
Good evening. So as you can see, our president, Jack Piccolo, is unable to attend this meeting this evening, so I'll chair this in his place. And I want to emphasize how important this meeting is for the Will County Veterans Assistance Commission. Tonight, we begin the process of creating a new Board of Commissioners for the Will County Veterans Assistance Commission with our nomination process. Before we begin, I want to talk about how this meeting will be run. All of our delegates and current officers are here in the desks and may raise their hand to speak during discussion of agenda items. This will happen after a motion and a second, but before the vote. The public will sit in the audience and have the opportunity to speak at public comment. The agreed upon rules in our bylaws from last meeting are to allow each person 5 minutes to speak in public comment. Our public comment time will be capped at 1 hour total. You may only speak for public comment at the podium after being recognized by the chair. We will not be petitioning for more time if we go over the 1 hour limit. If you speak out of turn without being recognized by the chair, you will get a warning the first time. The second time, I will ask for you to leave. This stands for delegates too. The business we are attending to is serious and needs to be attended to with the proper amount of decorum. So far, looks really good in this room. One big question has been, who is a legal delegate? As we endeavor to begin creating a new commission that accurately represents each post as they wish to be represented, the few posts whose intended delegate was unclear were asked to clarify. In this way, each post who wants to participate in the Will County Veterans Assistance Commission is participating today with their preferred or selected delegate. That said, only the primary delegate will be participating in the meeting. The secondary delegate may sit in the audience and abide by the rules of the public body stated earlier. Each post will get 1 vote on all matters. If the primary delegate is absent tonight, their secondary will be the participant and be able to vote. I want to begin this meeting by asking if we have any guests from the media. Hello. Your name, sir?
John Pratt, Edgar County Watchdog.
Thank you so much. Anybody else? Kurt Gallen from the same organization, correct? Excellent, thank you. All right, I want to begin with public comment on all matters relevant to the Will County Veterans Assistance Commission. I'm going to have you go ahead and line up on the north wall over here if you wish to speak. I want to remind everyone that you'll have 5 minutes to speak in public comment, and our public comment time overall will be capped at 1 hour. You may speak for public comment only at the podium after being recognized. You guys can go ahead and start lining up now, and it's okay if you line up later, after a few people have gone.
Is that still for me to stand up?
Keep anyone from falling.
Good evening, I'm John Pratt.
Hello, thank you.
This is directed at,
Is that microphone on? I don't see it red.
You have to hit speak.
Excellent, thank you. Go ahead.
this comment is directed at Denise Williams. Denise, the organization you purport to represent cannot appoint somebody to this board. There are specific requirements. One being have 15 paid members, which you have stated that you have 15 paid members. Another being you have to have 25% of your membership living in Will County. You've never shared the number of your members or the percentage that live in Will County. Another requirement is to be congressionally chartered. Your organization is congressionally chartered. There's also another requirement that's been here for decades, and it gets repealed on January 1, 2023. It gets repealed, which means it's still in effect, and it has been for decades. And I'll read it to you. Military veterans organizations, as used in this act, shall mean those organizations formed by and for military veterans. The organization you represent was not formed by
veterans. It might have been formed for military veterans. I don't even believe that's true. I believe it's formed for, mothers of veterans. But your organization was not formed by military veterans. It gets repealed on January 1. So if it gets repealed on January 1, it's not valid today. It hasn't been valid for decades. And you know that, that's why you sit there smiling at me. You think you just sit there and wait it out and cast a vote. It's ironic, you're calling roll call of legitimate delegates and alternates. These people have been appointed by legitimate veteran service organizations that have the authority to appoint people to this commission. The organization you represent does not. And I ask you once again to step down, walk out the door, and come back in January when you can legitimately be appointed.
Thank you. Next.
Hi, this is Raj Pillai, alternate delegate to the Plainfield American Legion. So first of all, what I want to say is I have no animosity towards any one of you personally. I really don't. I have really nothing against your organizations that you represent, including the Gold Star Mothers, which is a wonderful organization. What I do have is that I have something against the behavior that I've seen from the board, and it tends to continue. You guys, as John mentioned, continue to sit up there and vote, regardless of the fact that you're not eligible to be on that board. The Military Veterans Assistance Act is a sacred act for veterans. It governs veterans assistance commissions across the state. You have to be appointed by a commander of a veteran service organization in order to sit here. Most of you do not have an appointment from a commander that we can track. And that's why I sued you. I sued you. A judge has actually looked at it because I filed an injunction. And the judge didn't grant that injunction, one of the reasons being that he wanted to enjoin the county and the commission to that lawsuit. And the judge also thought that the day-to-day business of the VAC wouldn't be run if that injunction was filed. The fact of the matter is, the day-to-day business of the VAC is run by the wonderful staff that is at the VAC. It's not run by the board here, and that's very clear. We have a couple things on the agenda that I see. We have, I think, about 6 meeting minutes that are supposed to be approved today. I don't understand how the commission is supposed to vote on 6 meetings worth of minutes when we haven't even seen these minutes before. I think it was emailed right before, it was emailed today. And it's things like this that cause me a lot of anxiety, because last time what happened was you guys walked out of the board. Amanda, you walked out first. And I think I had a motion on the floor. Somebody said I should come out here and, probably look for my motion that I left on the floor over here. Could I ask for additional time, please?
That's not your timer, you're okay, thank you.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
So my point being is that motion that I made, I think it was, you guys were gonna vote on superintendent without giving out any resumes to the commission. That motion was left on the floor, and it was illegally adjourned last time, and then we're deciding to have another meeting. We have all these rules. I can appreciate that, but we have a huge problem here. We have monies expended, at least 500,000 or close to 500,000 that left the door without this board knowing, or you guys didn't even vote on it, let alone not even know about it. So that money's gone. There's many different violations of not only Robert's rules, but the law. You guys are sitting on that board, not legally being allowed to sit on that board. So that's really, I keep repeating myself over and over. I asked you guys to cooperate. It took me 3 months. My other delegate, Will Sutton, commander's here. He can tell you who the delegate is. There's been a question as to who's the delegate. And Tom Milnick is sitting out here as the delegate. Meanwhile, he's not the delegate. And he can confirm who the delegate is. I'm the alternate and Will's the primary. But again, I'm just asking you guys, please consider resigning, because if you don't, this is gonna get a lot worse. You guys are already going to court at the end of November. It's not gonna end up being pretty. So let's consider, aside from me, forget about me and why I'm here. This is about the veterans that are being wronged every single day that you sit up on this board illegally without us being able to serve them. That's all I wanted to say. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Thank you. My name is Kirk Allen. I would like to echo the request for you folks to resign. I would emphasize when there's votes being placed tonight, that if there's nominations for these people, please, please remove them. This has to stop. I listened to a radio show today by the now sitting interim board president or chairman, whatever title that is, and I was shocked with what she said. First off, thank you to the staff, because that woman went on the radio and said, the Veterans Commission is not getting their work done. You know what? You know who does the work? Those people. The work is getting done in spite of what's happening up here. You were wrong. You also referred to our organization as, what was the term? Political extremists. Ma'am, we're a 501c3 and a 501c4. We don't get involved in politics at all. We're about local government accountability. That's what we're about. And that's what was brought to our attention, was the lack of accountability of this board. That's why we got involved. And I have yet to have one person disprove anything we've published about you folks. And you're sitting in positions you're not supposed to. Not one of you. Not one. I brought to your attention months ago your involvement on the county board and how the county code statute outlines what you can and can't be appointed to. Are you still on the county board? Not going to answer that? We heard rumor that you resigned from that. Is that true? No comment. No comment leaves the public with all they can do is make an assumption. And that's not how business gets solved. You have to have a discussion. You have to have conversations. You have to have dialogue in order to solve problems. You've refused to do that, as have others. And I don't need 5 minutes, and I appreciate that you've extended the people's right to speak more. And I really appreciate we now have microphones, because on the air you said we nitpick. But you know, violations of the Open Meetings Act is a Class C misdemeanor. That's a crime. And if that's nitpicking, I will nitpick every day of the week to hold people like you accountable. Thank you.
Thank you. Next person? Anybody else from the public wishing to speak this evening? I will remind you again, it's not a question and answer session.
Morning, everybody. Or evening. Nice to see some familiar faces. My name is Christy McNichol. I'm a member of the Lockport American Legion. I wanted to bring attention that, a few of you may have received an email on or around September 20th that was originated by VFW Service Officer DeGroot. Most veterans hold a higher standard of truth than what one of your own sent out across the state. The personnel on that email should hold a higher integrity than that. Integrity is woven throughout each branch of service, but clearly missed the mark on those circulating rumors and allegations surrounding some of the most active and recognized VFW members south of Chicago. In order to build the Cook County VAC back up, it had to be torn down first. Which is Mr. DeGroot claiming the VFW had a role in, the tear down or the building up? I would assume the latter, because he is a decorated Vietnam veteran that continued to serve post-Vietnam. But his cloak and dagger of providing Jen Sullivan's personal email for the VAC Will County business calls into question his and her level of integrity to serve those in this room. There's a mythical creature in the veteran world called the Blue Falcon. For the civilians, the Blue Falcon is a term for buddy trucker, but you replace the TR with an F. Falcons eat their own when they're under stress. They will devour the rest of the population while on the prowl to the top. Blue Falcons operate under a cloak of lies, deceit, misdirection, and misinformation to keep the rest of the population guessing how it will survive in their world. The BAC of Will County is being eaten alive by a Blue Falcon and their followers. And now into the politics. Raj Bly is running for Will County Treasurer and is using the BAC as his singular campaign issue. Check out his social media page. And just for fun, check out his campaign funding supporters. Will Sutton previously identified himself as a Kendall County Veteran Service Officer, though no longer employed there, and is now a DeKalb BAC. Also, he stated his representation of the Illinois Association of County Veteran Service Officers, Judge Advocate, and Plainfield American Legion delegate to the BAC board meetings. Gretchen Fritz is a current Will County board member for District 5 and is seeking the seat of Will County Clerk. Lisa Caparelli Rupp is a current candidate for the Will County Regional Office of Education. At the BAC board meeting on July 12, 2022, above politically incited individuals spoke during the public comment period. These 4 individuals are not motivated to serve veterans, and they are motivated to win an election by clawing up the backs of Will County Veterans Assistance Commission board members and led by the Blue Falcon. They fell in line. Navy veteran Raj Bly made the statement, Chris Hammond represents a collective of post-13 members. This is an interesting statement because a packet was sent out across the state that contained pieces of the public comments stated by Raj, Will, Gretchen, Lisa, and their other companions that joined them on their stage of debauchery at the July 12th meeting. The packet mailed on March 25th contained details from the previous BAC board meeting held on March 8th. Though the March 8th minutes were not available yet to the public until the next BAC board meeting on April 12th. Reviewing the minutes from March 8th, neither Will County Treasurer candidate Raj was there, IAC BAC Representative Will, County Clerk candidate Gretchen, or Regional Office of Education candidate Lisa were in attendance. They all fell in line behind their Blue Falcon leader. Again, Raj would like you to believe that Mr. Chris Hammond is the figurative citizen representing American Legion Post 13. The question posed is who was at the meeting from Post 13 on March 8th? Who had the knowledge, skills, and ability to mail a packet out that so many received? Who is the Blue Falcon amongst you? Up until this point, Will County veterans and BAC as a whole was elevated statewide by being inclusive and collaborative. The BAC staff participated in community collaborative meetings. The staff was known for being helpful and not for calling the police on a veteran in a mental health crisis. He spoke to veterans as a veteran. The Blue Falcon is tearing it down to prop themselves up on top and look down at everyone like an imbecile. It is important when identifying the Blue Falcon that you understand their psyche. They are incapable of accountability. Nothing is ever their fault. They will point their talents to every other direction to distract you from actually finding the solution that is sought. Simultaneously, they will tell you that they are doing the work of other people and that those other people are incompetent, so steadfast in their statement that you will question your own intelligence. If you speak to their mistakes, missteps, or confront them in any way, they will question your intentions, use a scare tactic, or divert your attention elsewhere to make you stop. They will have a noticeable physical reaction when questioned. Their neck and chest may turn red and splotchy as their heart rate increases. Their eye might start twitching, their jaw may drop, or they might just sit there with their head hung and their hands folded on the table. You need to pay attention to this. They will, above else, play victim when you hurt their feelings and put on an air of being a protector of you. In reality, they are more like pigeons than falcons. Falcons fly high and see the landscape for what it is, while pigeons are on the ground walking clumsily in the crack that they produce. The Will County BAC was the best in the state. If you are unsure of that, realize that the people following the Blue Falcon are doing so not because of their leadership qualities, but because of what the Will County BAC is capable of, and they are not. It's lonely at the top, but it's better to be alone on the top than to behave like a pigeon walking in their own crack. Thank you.
Anybody else from the public wishing to speak? Excellent, thank you.
My name is Mike Dean.
VFW 5788. I know Jack's a great guy, president up there. What I just heard from this lady, why I got involved over here at the BAC, they've done very good work at BAC. There's no question about it. When I asked for some help, I was given it. But when I found out about $500,000 that we couldn't see anymore, or where it went, and now we have a lawyer looking at it to see where this money went. I still don't know what happened to this money. That's why I came out here. I know the board shouldn't be sitting up here, as some members say. I really don't know. I would like to see if they're not representing us, to leave. If they're rightfully supposed to be up there, that's fine with me. But what happened to this $500,000? Did we go off track? I'm waiting for the lawyer to talk up there what he finding is. That's why I came out here. What happened to the money? And is this board legit? Because I never voted for it, I found out. They never voted to see where this money was supposed to go to, from my understanding. So she can say is a person of Vulcan or, trying to step behind somebody or whatever they want to do, but I'm an eagle. I fly high and I always will. I just want to know what's happening to the money because I know what's going on in this country right now. And that money's been flying around with this COVID funding. And we don't know what's going on with it. Not only to the VAC, which is an outstanding program, but actually what happened to it. And I can't wait for the lawyer to say where it's at or what his findings are. That's all I wanted to say, and thank you very much for the time.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
I'm Larry Shaver. I'm a member of Post 5917 of the Veterans of Foreign Wars and Bolingbrook. I'm also the Senior Vice Commander for the District 18 of the Veterans of Foreign Wars. But I'm not going to speak as a representative of either one tonight. What I'm going to speak to you as a representative of is American Veterans Helping Veterans, non-for-profit, who has worked closely over the past more than a decade with Christy. Her and I worked together to help veterans on numerous occasions. I don't know much about the legal aspect of what's going on with Christy. I'm a person that will hold my judgment in reserve and let the law take its course. I do know personally that Christy McNichol is a very, has been, and probably most likely still is, a very honorable advocate for veterans. She has did a lot of good over the years that I've worked with her. And I'll leave that at that. I will say I have read the state statutes from front to back, inside and out, concerning the Veterans Assistance Commission. And I do believe that there are board members setting up here illegally that have violated state statute by sitting here. I think we all know that because we read on a daily basis. I think we're all qualified. We've known all about this stuff since back in June, July. I know that people that sit here that have an interest in Veterans Affairs have gotten onto the websites and pulled up the information from state statutes and read it. If you haven't, then you're doing a disservice to the people here and yourself. and the veterans walking the streets. I have no animosity toward anybody. I'm a veterans advocate, I'm a veterans veteran, and that's all I pretend to be. But if we're gonna have an organization that's going to run on behalf of veterans and veterans' needs, so be it. Let's do it the right way. And let's continue to do what we do. And again, I will echo, I thank the staff of the VAC, they do a great job. They're the people that make the wheels turn. I've talked to them, we've never met in face, I don't believe face to face, but I've talked to each and every one of them over the past years that have worked at the VAC. As I do other VACs in the community. 14 states, 14 counties of northern Illinois is what we represent. I'll close in saying, I would love to see this matter concluded and the VAC be able to get back to sitting down and doing the job that it set out to do. With that, I will thank you and close.
Thank you. My name is James Castaneda, commander of the Plainfield American Legion, 10-year Marine Corps veteran, medically retired, 5 combat force, 2 Purple Hearts, lost a lot of brothers in combat, whatnot, you have you. I've been back in Illinois going on 5 years now, and joined my post about 4 years ago. And recently became the commander about 2 years. I'm going on 2 years now as a commander. And when I took over my my post, there was some misappropriated funds going on at our post there, where later on I heard that it happens quite a bit around across the board, I guess. But I wasn't having that as a member there. I couldn't believe that was happening. And when I got out of the Marine Corps, and I was a police officer as well, but I ended up coming home, wasn't for me, so I moved back to Illinois. But finding out that as a veteran, as a combat veteran, at that, and losing brothers, and knowing that my purpose now, I guess, is to help veterans, make sure that they get the benefits they deserve, have people like the VAC who are willing to help them, because there's veterans still out there that don't know where they can go to apply for veterans and receive whatever they deserve. And I believe every veteran deserves something, if not a lot. So I'm not gonna sit up here and bash the board. That's been said and done. The money part, I'll let the legal, process happen, and whatever happens at the end, we'll deal with then. But when I became a commander, 2021, July timeframe, I got a letter to assign delegates and alternates for the VAC in Will County. I happens that at that time, since I was a new commander, I was still learning how to be a commander. I'm the youngest commander at my post since forever. That post in Plainfield has been around since 1919, so youngest commander, right? We need a lot of young veterans to come out to different posts, and we got to go out there and recruit and get them in. But so anywho, so I put in my list as delegates and alternate. One was me, and the other was Raj Pillai, Navy veteran himself. At that point, Raj was a finance officer. He's the one that helped out, made some guidelines. So what happened at a post report doesn't happen again. So I have a lot of trust in my finance officer from my post to be a delegate here at the VAC. Turns out that the commander position takes up a lot of time, so I wasn't able to attend some of the meetings. So I added, took myself off and added Will Sutton, who is my service officer at my post. And it just happens that he was also a veteran service officer at the time with Kendall County VAC, where I'm a part of that board over there. And seeing, this is only my second meeting here, seeing how this board runs compared to the Kendall County board, way different, totally different. So anywho, I take insult when my members, my service officer, my finance officer, and my post get dragged for, no purpose at all. Like, what is their job? Hey, he was a veteran service officer at another VAC, and now he's working for another VAC. Well, there's really no problem. He's still working as a veteran service officer. And it has I don't see what the point was dragging his name, that he doesn't live in Will County, when I have a post that I got veterans that live in a lot of counties. It just happens they like my post better, so they joined the Plainfield American Legion. I have 25% of my members who live in Kendall County. It's like, I go to the Kendall County VAC. Will's son does not live in Will County, correct? But he is my service officer and he's a member at my post, so yes. For that to be brought up, I don't get that, and I don't get what his termination, he got terminated, we want to be blunt about it, he got terminated because he came up here and spoke his mind about him helping veterans and what's going on here. I'm not gonna talk about that, but he's standing up for what he believes in. What I believe, I backed him up 100%. Since I took over my post, and I tell you, we dealt with, whatever happened before I was the commander there, and when this thing came to light, I was like, oh, another situation like this. Hey, Raj and William, you guys got it. You guys are very knowledgeable. Go have at it. Nothing to do before Raj said, hey, I'm also running for whatever he's running for. I can care less. I'm not a political guy. I don't get in political businesses or whatnot. I'm lucky if I even get around to vote on November 8th. But not here nor there. The fact that I got my finance officer who's very if I can get more time.
30 seconds.
30 seconds, all right. Fact that my finance officer, brings this to light, again, to help out other veterans, and then he gets smeared because he's running for something that he wants to do and fix whatever he can. I mean, I get it. I can see how it looks from the outside in and vice versa, that he's running for Will County Treasurer. But that wasn't the case when this came to light and when he started. And it just bothers me as his commander and as my finance officer, my service officer, that my members at my post get dragged like this for no reason. And again, we're all here for the same cause. We're all veterans. We're all here to help out veterans. I love the DSO that help out our veterans that need help out there. And I mean, this is just foolish. What's going on here. I see I hate seeing what I see here as fellow members. Maybe some of us, I think she left, but Blue Falcon, it's been a while since I heard that term. And I'm an infantry guy, so we had a lot of Blue Falcons that I won't even talk about. But hey, thank you for your time.
Thank you. Come on down.
Good evening. My name's John Dave, and I'm past state commander for the Veterans of Foreign Wars. I served on the National Council for the VFW for 4 years, and I served on the Appeals Committee for 4 years. I served on this board many years ago under Wayne. We're here for veterans. I took an oath when I came back, to my last dying breath, I will help veterans. And everybody in this room here should be here for veterans and not themselves. If you are, you're in the wrong place. We're veterans that need to help veterans, because America's not going to help us. Look what's going on in the United States today. All this needs to stop. We need to put our veterans first. And that's what we're here for. If you're here for something else, you might as well get up and walk out the door. I served 23 years in my country, and I've seen how veterans are treated. And it's still going on today, and it needs to stop. And we need to make sure that this VAC commission puts veterans first and veterans first only. Thank you.
Any other members of the public wishing to speak? Any other public comments? Last call for public comment. All right, thank you. Oh, Secretary Williams said somebody just walked in. Was it?
Sir, I noticed that you came in. Are you here to represent a post or?
Yeah, Stone City VFW.
Great, thank you. And your name, sir?
Kevin Kamakawa.
I'm sorry?
Kevin Kamakawa.
Thank you for joining us. All right, so the next thing on our agenda is minutes of previous meetings. So I noticed as well that the meeting minutes were not distributed until today. I'm correct that they're all on the table, right?
Yes.
Yes, okay. So if you would like to look at those, go ahead and look at them. I'm suggesting that we table all these minutes until the biennial election meeting on Friday. Okay, so I will ask for a motion to table the minutes from 14 June.
I'll make that motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, we're gonna go ahead and take a roll call vote this first time.
Denise Williams, aye. Amanda Cook,
Yes.
Jim Singler,
Yes.
Janet Blue,
Yes.
Steve Beneke,
Yes.
Dick Martinka,
Yes.
Wayne Horn,
Yes.
Gary Steve. Robert Andoni.
Yes.
And I'm sorry, am I pronouncing your name properly, sir? Andoni, I apologize. Robert Kruger. Robert Kruger?
He stepped up.
Okay.
Amen.
Tom Jost.
Yes.
Raj Pillai.
Yes.
John Davin.
Yes.
Jennifer Peel.
Yes.
And Ron Howard.
Sure.
And I'm not pronouncing that correctly. Can you say it again?
That was great.
Ankala?
Yep.
Okay. Jim Paulson.
Yes.
Joseph Kelly.
Yes.
Passed unanimous to table the minutes from from June 6, 2022.
Thank you.
I'd like to make a motion to table.
Our council has advised us that we can, make a motion for B, C, D, E, F, and G under section 7 and table them all together. Would you like to make that motion?
I'd like to amend that motion.
Okay.
I'd like to make motions B, C, D, E, and F all be tabled.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Second. Does anybody want to vote to use the previous roll call?
So moved.
Okay. Does anybody want to second that motion? Thank you so much.
Who said second?
Raj. Okay. And so that leaves G, and that is the minutes from the closed session on 30 March 22.
I'd like to make a motion to keep the closed session minutes from the March 22 closed. Under,
I'm sorry, can you repeat that motion?
Go ahead, Bob.
I think.
I would like to make a motion the motion is to have the closed session minutes from 30 March 2022 remain closed. And that would be under ILCS 5 ILCS 5/120/2, section C 11, and or 5 ILCS 5/120/2, section C 1.
Excuse me, point of order, that's not on the agenda. And I'd like to discuss it anyways, that's not on the agenda.
I'm confused.
Oh, I see.
I think.
I'm gonna let our council clarify this.
Yes.
I think, I'm sorry. I think what we have to do here is we're doing two different things, right? There's, so I believe what was before the body is to approve the meeting minutes. That means the members that were present during the closed session have reviewed them and they believe the content accurately reflects what happened in that meeting that day. So if you weren't present, obviously you can't really opine on whether the minutes are correct or not. We have to approve the meeting minutes first, and that's the first step. Later on, after they're approved, we come back and we determine, biannually by state law, we have to determine whether the need for confidentiality still exists or whether those meeting minutes should be released. So I believe what we're doing here today, if I'm correct, is that we're just approving the content to say that everybody that was present during that meeting agrees that they accurately reflect that meeting. So I believe that's what, so am I right? If they haven't been approved, if they have to be approved first, then biannually, we would get together and decide whether the need for confidentiality still exists. And that is determining the release. So today, I believe what's before us is, again, just to be clear, the people that were present during the closed session that have reviewed the meeting minutes are saying those accurately reflect and they don't need any changes. Yes, John? That was correct me if I'm wrong, that was an executive board meeting. This is not an executive board meeting, this is a full commission meeting. So the votes have to go through the full commission, not just executive board. You can always table that to the next executive board meeting.
But people can't vote on meeting minutes that they weren't present on, right? I mean, how would you know if the content's correct or not? You have to abstain, but if they want to vote, I mean, that's fine.
If it was a closed meeting, you would have to listen to the recording, because you do have new members that end up voting on stuff when the old members are gone.
I know, but Kurt, to my point is that, how can I vote on something if I wasn't there and I don't know if they're accurate or not? If I wasn't in the room, how do I know it's I don't have no frame of reference to vote yes or no. I can only abstain because I wasn't there.
The only way would be to listen to the recording.
Well, I guess that's one way to do it, but I mean, technically what I've seen before is you just abstain because you weren't present. Even if you were to go back and listen to the recording. It's form over substance. The point is, are the minutes correct? Right, that's what we're doing here. So if you want to table them to the next meeting, that's fine. Otherwise, I can go ahead and approve them if you want.
How do you feel?
For the content. Content only.
Oh, you decided to record.
I do have a question on that. In a closed meeting, are topics announced?
Yes.
So those were announced in
Closed session.
someplace in closed session?
Well, they're on the agenda for the exec. You can do any business you want in open meetings.
Yeah.
Under the Open Meetings Act. There are exceptions to the Open Meeting Act, and those are things you can go into executive session about. So, but you have to give the public notice of, in general, whether it's litigation, collective bargaining agreement, things like that, what you're gonna go in
I
and
would agree with
discuss.
that. Or was that done?
Yes. Previously, back in March.
Okay.
Yeah,
Just
it's,
as a-
yeah, no, it's a fair question. I want everybody to understand what we're doing, so that's why I'm trying to help.
All right,
Did
so
that help?
it did. Thank you very much, Mr. Bird. I don't see us having an executive session or executive committee meeting again before the elections on Friday. So in that instance, can I get a motion to approve these minutes?
I will move to approval.
Thank you very much.
I'm sorry. Can people please use their microphones? I can't hear.
So to correct the record, the motion was on the floor, so are you seconding the motion, Wayne?
Motion to approve was on the floor.
Yes. That was the motion that I made.
I'll second
Okay, excellent. So now we're gonna have to do a roll call.
And
And we can just do this with the folks from the executive committee, correct?
As long as they're all here, you might as well don't vote. I don't know if they have any frame of reference for it. I mean, again, I think I made a point.
Right, so-
present, or they can abstain, I guess they can vote any way they want. I think the proper vote would be to abstain if they're going to vote.
Okay.
Could I
Does anybody
please-
need more clarification on that? Go ahead.
Can I please amend the motion to table these, because I haven't had a chance to look at these, and I think that what we said previously, that we should table it until we get a chance to look at these, I think we should follow through on it.
So, Claire,
I think what I'm hearing is we have a motion, you're making a superseding motion to the motion to approve. We had a first and a second. Now we have a new superseding motion to table item
G,
G. Is there a second?
point of order. Can someone who is not a member of the executive committee, who was not in the closed session, make a motion on whether or not to approve the minutes for that closed session?
Well, he's not making that motion, but he's making it a motion to this table. That's not making a motion to approve or disapprove. He's making a motion to table, not the contract.
Is there a second for that motion?
I have no question, Mr. Chairman.
Go ahead.
Hold on, we have
We have to
to
get a second.
finish his motion.
All right.
Second.
Seconded, thank you so much.
Now, does anybody want to have a discussion on that motion to
Yeah,
table?
I do. So, just to be clear, Ross, you're looking to table the minutes, under section 7G. You don't want to approve, you want to table them so you've got a chance to read them and approve them.
Correct, I mean, I'd like to.
However,
But if you weren't in the room, as Mr. O'Grady said, then you won't be able to vote on it because you weren't there. That's what I don't understand.
That's not necessarily true. The Attorney General, these are not commission meetings. There is no such thing as a closed session for a committee. If I request to be able to come listen to those minutes, I should be able to come listen to them or actually look at the minutes in a private session. And this is something I've asked the Attorney General, they haven't got back to me, but I should be able to do that. Because this is a committee of the commission, this is not the commission.
Question, Chair.
We acted on that on advice of counsel. So you might want to contact the state's attorney, counsel, for further information on that. We only act in the legal sense that we're required to.
Here's my issue, guys. There's a lot of controversy surrounding everything that's been in closed session right now, and I just think that we, as a commission, need to understand at least what happened in those minutes.
We have responded.
Go ahead, Ann. Thank you, Joyce.
Was that not good enough answer?
It's unfortunately, Wayne, it's not. I'm
Well,
telling you.
we don't know how else to answer.
All right, so let's do this.
Topic.
I want to vote on the motion to table, which I think is a more than fair motion. It will allow us an opportunity to talk with legal counsel and find out how to proceed with this set of minutes.
I would appreciate that. Thank you.
All right, so let's go ahead and do a roll call vote, because this might be contentious for this item, 7G. Motion to table, thank you.
Denise Williams, no. Amanda Cook,
No.
Jim Singler. No. Janet Blue,
Yes.
Steve Menke,
Yes.
Dick Martinka,
Yes.
Wayne Horn,
Are these minutes already on the website?
No.
no, these are the closed minutes that have not been released because it is a closed
So all of these
session.
other minutes though are, no.
No,
No, they're on the table though.
no, we're only discussing 7G, closed minutes from 30 March, and the motion is whether or not to table. Is that a yea or a nay, Wayne?
No.
Gary Sieg. Heather Angoni,
Yes.
Robert Kruger,
Yes.
Tom Jost,
Yes.
Raj Bly,
Yes.
John Devon,
Yes.
Jennifer Peel,
Yes.
Kevin Von Collier,
Yes.
Jim Lawson,
Yes.
Joseph Kelly,
Yes.
Motion passes 12 yes and 5 nay.
All right, excellent. So that is tabled until our next meeting. Agenda item 8, old business. There is no old business for this meeting. I'm gonna move on to item 9, new business. So we're gonna do our nominations today in the spirit of creating a good commission. For each nomination, the motion will be made, then seconded by another. There will be no vote today, but the nominated individual will be asked if they accept his or her nomination and therefore must be present today. The elections will occur on Friday, October 14th in this room beginning at 3 p.m. Let's go ahead and begin with nominations for president. Please raise your hand nice and high so that we can see you. Go ahead.
Under all business, should that last motion that you talked out on and discussed,
What motion?
the last, at the end of the meeting, we were discussing about a superintendent. And you swapped out,
No, it's not on today's agenda item.
but it's under all business because you haven't finished the meeting.
It's not on this agenda because this commission has been called into question that it's not formed legally. So hiring somebody, firing somebody, paying somebody, any of those things are going to be called into question in court. So this agenda, I'm assuming, is meant to be a pared down
We
version.
would have went through with the motion, we've been fine, but now we walked out on the motion. And it's all good.
I'm sorry that you do not like how that went.
Okay,
Okay.
just perfect.
All right, so our new business is nomination of officers. Would anybody like to nominate somebody to be president of this commission?
Steve, like to nominate Amanda Cook as president?
Can I get a second?
Second.
All right, I will accept that nomination. Any other nominations for president?
I'd like to nominate General Kelly as president.
I'll second
A second?
And who's the second? Robert.
Anyone?
Okay.
Do you accept the nomination?
Yes.
Any other nominations for president? Okay. Nominations for vice president. Janet,
I'd like to nominate Steve Beneke to vice president.
excellent. Can I get a second?
Second.
Second. Do you accept the nomination?
I do.
Excellent. Are there any other nominations for vice president?
I'd like to nominate Mr. Davin as vice president.
I'll second that.
Excellent, thank you.
And who was the second? I'm sorry.
We're bad with things today.
We're bad at things and we can't have both members of the same post making motions and all that. So is there another second?
I'll second it.
Excellent, thank you.
Thank you.
Do you accept the nomination?
Yes,
Thank you.
gonna have to show
Any other nominations for vice president? Excellent. All right, secretary, any nominations for secretary? I will remind everybody that if this is not filled, it can be appointed by the president at a later date. However, it would be nice to have somebody voted into the position. Janet?
I nominate Denise Williams for secretary.
I'm sorry, I am not eligible to receive a nomination. I am in this position now because I was appointed by our current president.
Thank you for clarifying that, Denise. So I'll ask one last time if we have any nominations for secretary. All right,
Can I-
seeing
I'm
none,
sorry, Can I nominate Robert?
I can't tell you.
Oh,
okay. I appreciate you saying that. It would be nice to go through the motion in second, but fair enough. All right, so we're gonna leave secretary for now. We'll allow that to be filled by the next president. Sergeant at Arms. Do I have any nominations for Sergeant at Arms?
Nominate Janet Blue.
Okay, can I get a second?
I'll second that.
All right, Denise second that? Do you accept that nomination? Excellent. Any other nominations for Sergeant at Arms?
Can I nominate Larry Shaver, please, as Sergeant at Arms?
Now, if we have two people from the same post and they both win, only one of them will be able to take the position. I'm not saying no, because I don't think that's articulated in our bylaws.
By the time the vote comes, I should be a candidate or a full-fledged delegate from another organization.
And how does that work when the date's supposed to be March 30th?
Conflict of interest.
Conflict of interest. I would probably be the delegate from American Legion Post 1288, Bolingbrook.
I mean, it's a perspective, right? I mean, we're nominating now, right? I don't want to be difficult, but I mean, you're not in the spot, you're not in the spot, right?
Yeah, I agree with that, unfortunately.
Yes.
Good news is the elections are biennial, so keep showing up. Anybody else for Sergeant at Arms? All right, seeing none, we're gonna move on to Chaplain. Can I get a nomination for Chaplain? Thank you. Can I get a second?
A second.
Okay, do you accept the nomination?
No.
No? Okay, so we're gonna need to try again.
And I'm sorry, I didn't get your name. Is that, Mr. Kruger, is that you?
Yeah, that's true.
Okay,
Thank you.
And who was the second?
And the second was, Jim Clausen. I'd like to nominate Jim Clausen as chaplain.
Can I get a second?
I'll second. Oh, yeah.
2 seconds. Do you accept that nomination?
Who second?
Okay, I'll accept.
Awesome, thank you. And Steve, second.
Stephen. Okay, we can use names.
Oh, yeah, so, our executive assistant is asking if we can say second and then state your name. Just your last name is fine.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Jim Clausen nominated, I nominated him for chaplain, and Steve, I think he seconded. And you have accepted.
And he has accepted.
I accept.
A little reluctant, we'll take it. All right, so any other nominations for chaplain? Okay, seeing none, we're gonna go to the member at large 2-year position. Are there any nominations for the member at large 2-year position? Excellent, thank you. These can be appointed by the president at a later date if we don't have anybody wanting to nominate for these positions. I would like a good election.
I'd like to nominate Jennifer Peel for the member at large 2-year position.
Can I get a
That's what happens
second?
when you show up.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Second from Wayne, do you accept?
Yes.
Excellent, good work, I love it.
She's not even eligible to be appointed to the commission, let alone make nominations.
Okay, that's enough, thank you.
Read the law.
All right, any other nominations for member at large 2-year position? All right, seeing none, member at large 3-year position will be pending if Janet Blue becomes the sergeant at arms. So I am interested in taking a name for nominations regardless. For this position. That's an excellent question.
That's right.
Yeah.
If she steps down, then we'll be to fill the unfulfilled term of 3 years, and then they'd have to run again.
Okay. So does anybody want to nominate somebody to fill the 1-year position, the 1 year that would be left on Janet Blue's term, pending her being elected to sergeant at arms? I'll ask one last time if anybody wants to nominate somebody for the 1 year remaining, possible 1 year remaining on the 3-year term. Okay, Member at large, four-year position is open. It's a four-year term. Does anybody want to nominate somebody to serve as a member at large for 4 years on this commission?
I have a question.
Yes.
If we have someone whose term is finishing now, like Nikki, and he does not get elected to vice president.
It will be up to the current president to place people in this position if nobody's elected.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for that clarification. All right, I'm gonna ask one last time to see if anybody wants to nominate somebody for the four-year position.
I nominate John Castaneda.
I don't think you can do that.
No, I'm sorry that you cannot, as a member of the public, you cannot make a nomination, only a delegate or a board member can. But I really do like his suggestion, Costa.
My name is not John.
I know what your name is, so.
Love the enthusiasm.
The,
All right, so
I'm making a nomination. I'm making a motion to nominate Costa as the 4-year member at large. James, does somebody second James' nomination?
okay, we have a second right here. Do you accept the nomination?
Who seconded?
Sorry, we had a question.
State your name.
Jim Clausen.
Clausen. Thank you.
We had a question, Madam President. So is it only delegates who can nominate? Or accept, is it just a member of the commission who can?
I think it's just a member of the commission, is how I read the bylaws.
Thank you.
A member of the commission means a member of the executive board or a delegate present can make a nomination and second a nomination.
Thank you.
All right, do you accept?
Yes, I'll.
Excellent. So I'll ask one last time if there's anybody who wants to be nominated. Go ahead.
But you have to be a delegate. Isn't that what all the complaining's been about, the delegates are the ones that are.
Well, there is no one else that has been nominated from American Legion Plainfield 13 for an officer position. And the question is, the forms that I have state that James Castaneda is the delegate and Raj Pillai is the alternate. And I had sent an email for clarification to the Post asking if that were still,
You got the email last week, unfortunately, I didn't get through it.
I'm sorry, I can't hear
I
you.
said, we got the email last week, it was sent to our big main email, so yes, we did send you guys sent us 2 emails in the past, and we updated those.
Are you currently the delegate or not?
Am I?
Yes.
Whatever proposal you guys got, I'll go with it.
So as the commander of your post, the spirit of this meeting is I want all commanders to send or state who they want their primary and alternate delegates to be. Do you want yourself to be the delegate or Will Sutton?
So, James, the original form that was received, you were the delegate, Raj Pillai was the alternate.
Right.
There was another, right, and then there was another form that was sent that had William Sutton as the delegate and Raj Pillai as the alternates.
Correct.
So the question is, which form do you, as the commander of the American Legion, Plainfield 13, want to be the valid form? That's your decision, and I asked if you would accept the nomination for the 4-year term on the assumption that you were the delegate and Mr. Pillai is the alternate. If you do not want that to be the valid form, then state so. If you accept the nomination, you are stating that you are the delegate.
No, my current application, I have William Sutton and Raj Pillai.
Thank you for the clarification.
Thank you. All right, so before we close out these nominations, I'll ask one last time for a nomination for our 4-year member at large. All right. Moving on, other new business. Is there any other new business that I have not been alerted to?
Yeah, so I'm really not finding it difficult here. It seems that we either have a, election meeting this week on the 13th or the 14th. I know the agenda. says
I
the
actually,
13th.
I'm gonna clarify that at the end, and I really appreciate you bringing it up. There was a typo. It is the 14th. So
Okay.
I'll make sure to say that again.
Yeah, no, that's fine. My point was that having two commission meetings in the same week, especially this one is at 3 p.m. I think it's unduly burdensome I mean, we are trying to get the commission members here twice a week. I would want to make a motion. I'd like to make a motion to table the election until next month's meeting. I think it's just not practical to have the entire commission here twice a week, and especially not at 3 p.m.
So our bylaws actually state that these elections have to occur in October. And technically, this should be the election meeting. So as we're behind, we're trying to catch up.
I understand that the last time you guys walked out of the meeting, and it was supposed to be done last time, so we have at least a month in between the nomination process and the election.
Well, you
And
can't
even-
really table something that's not on the agenda.
Right. Well, I'd like to make a motion to do that. I'm just saying that this is not easy for us to actually have an election and two commission meetings in the same week. And if it's possible to make a
Right.
motion, I'd like to.
Well, I appreciate your input on that, but it's already scheduled. All right,
I don't,
We heard you.
thank you.
I understand that, but we were supposed to do this last time, guys.
All right, so we're going to move on to our,
That's right here, not 14. I think there was a Scribner's error, we covered it right there.
we did, we just
We just
covered
talked
that.
about the Scribner's.
I mean, can we at least, I understand we're trying to follow the letter of the bylaws here, which the bylaws don't even conform to the Military Veterans Assistance Act. I mean, can we at least move it to next week?
Okay.
Question.
We're just gonna move on to our superintendent's report.
Okay, well.
Either we're following the bylaws or we're not.
So we're not,
following
we're
them,
not,
period.
we're not orders are reasonable.
That's it. Our superintendent's report, please. I'm gonna have our assistant superintendent, our interim superintendent, come on down. Would you like to have any staff help you?
Good
Free.
evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Fred Liza, Senior Veteran Service Officer, and I'll be going over the award log. Quickly, in comparison to last month's reported 4.2 million in new awards we brought in for fiscal year 2022, we are now at 4.65 million. Are there any questions across the board with regarding the award log?
No, excellent work.
Thank you.
Okay, so for the emergency shelter grant, we've actually utilized all of the ESG funds, the 150, so we are going to use the FEMA funds, that's $30,000. Financial assistance report. We served 6 veterans. Last month, shelter totaled $350. Gas was $62.30. Electric was $182. Personal products is $150. October is the first month that LIFE opens up. So should be a few months without utility costs.
For clarification, can you please advise, or can you please state what LIHEAP covers and how that impacts?
So LIFE is for low income housing, energy. If you within 150% federal poverty limit, will help assist with electric subsidy and also gas, but the gas has to be for heating, it cannot be for cooking.
I will entertain a motion to accept the superintendent's report as presented. Would anybody like to make that motion to accept the superintendent's report?
I will make that motion. Blue.
Motion by Blue, second.
Second, Beneke.
Second by Beneke. Let's go ahead and have a roll call vote.
Before we go into the system, to Jim.
Absolutely.
So we did get the award log and the other information, but it would be great to have information on the shelter and the gas electric to have numbers and people assigned to that.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
So
it's just helpful.
usually on the agenda, I'll plug it in, but I didn't have the agenda first to plug that information in, so I'll make sure it's done next month. No problem.
Any other comments before we get to our roll call vote? All right, go ahead, Secretary Williams.
The motion is to accept the superintendent's report as presented. Williams? No.
Yes.
Singler?
No.
Blue?
Yes.
Beneke?
Yes.
Ardika?
Yes.
York? I'm sorry, Horn?
Yes.
Gary Seed?
Yes.
Robert Ann Mooney?
Yes.
Robert Kruger?
Yes.
Tom Jost?
Yes.
Raj Bly?
Yes.
Tom Devon?
Yes.
Jennifer Peel?
Yes.
Kevin Von Collier?
Yes.
Jim Lawson?
Yes.
Joseph Kelly?
Yes.
Motion passes 15 yea, 2 nay.
All right, excellent. The next item on our agenda is 12, for the good of the commission. Does anyone have anything to share for the good of the commission?
This under good of the order.
Yep.
To save embarrassment to everybody, because I've been in several organizations going down the roads. I'd like to point out Article 7, Section 6. Newly elected officers must submit a copy of their DD 214 or honorable discharge certificate or such such other proof of service or relationship to the eligibility of the veteran, which qualifies the officer for membership in the respective veteran service organizations, to the superintendent within 30 days following the election, and to an elected office. If elected, officer fails to submit the required documents within the specified time frame, the office will be declared vacant, and a special election will be held to fulfill the vacant office. The only reason I bring this up, because we put people in positions, we get all the way up there, everything's doing fine, all of a sudden we find out they're not eligible.
Okay, thank you very much.
Can't hear you. What?
Did somebody say that they had something else to say?
What's she saying to you? We need to hear that.
Yes, that's.
Okay. You don't need to hear it, but I actually am gonna say it, and if you interrupt me one more time, I'm gonna ask you to leave. Thank you.
One warning and then two.
All right, so one thing that Secretary Williams brought up to me, and as long as we're on that road, thank you very much. You also have to have 25% of your membership in Will County, okay? So we're gonna have to also verify that. Any organization that is here, I know that Plainfield talked about how they have obviously people from different counties and probably meet that 25%, but each and every organization will have that counted and make sure that that is all correct before we go into these nominations as well. It also looks like you volunteered yourself to help me figure that out. Anyways, all right. Anybody else have anything for the good of the commission? Anybody else? All right, so we have an executive committee closed session. There is no need for an executive session today, so we're gonna go ahead and move past that. Before we get to our adjournment, I do want to talk about how there is a typo. You're very confused about whose meeting this is.
And you lied to the public. The law does not say they have to have 25%. Only if they serve more people in more than one county, do they
Okay,
have to
I'm not
have
interested in your
25%.
thought. Yeah, for real. All right, before we adjourn, there is a typo on our agenda today. I'd like to bring this back up one more time. The biennial election meeting will be this Friday, October 14th, in this room at 3 p.m. I hope to see you all then. That said, I will ask for a motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
Move and second. Have a good evening.
Quit lying, people.
If everybody would put their name card back on the table where you got them from.
Okay, I'll reiterate that. Can you please put your name tags at least on this front table or something, so you can get them?